The Batman and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles need to team up. Man, this is gonna be awesome. Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where I take trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then I read it dramatically back to you. All alterations in the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. A scientist begins to recall the night the ninjas attacked. At one point, the lights cut out completely, and all she could see were those things. When the lights came back on, the ninjas were gone, and the generator was also missing. Those things looked angry. But you'll stop them, won't you, Batman? With this information, Batman heads back over to the Batcave to continue working on his intimidation suit, while reviewing the information on the past research facility attacks. The survivors all have a bruising from a form of ninjutsu, but it's not someone that he's aware of. This is someone new, and there are also some metahumans involved. Alfred mentions that the GCPD stations have a few patrolmen on the way to the Wayne R&D facility, and Batman tells Alfred to have them pull out. He's gonna go see what these attacks are all about. Down in the sewers of Gotham, Killer Croc takes a group of men to follow a tracker that somebody put on the Batmobile. Parts from the Batmobile could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, but as they go on, they stumble onto a room that looks kind of like a teenager's bedroom. Croc looks around and he sees a video game console with a few games, and after thinking about how Death Laser Pony Racers could be fun, he crushes it. Above Croc and his men, the Turtles watch as Mikey becomes sad at the loss of his game. As Croc and his men are about to move out, the Turtles jump down and they strike! During a struggle with Raph and a gunman, the gunman shoots a pipe causing steam to fill the room. Another of the men sees the Turtles and he asks what they are, and Mikey tells him, "Aliens! They're spooky aliens!" Johnny sweeps the man's legs and tells them that they might not be aliens. Well, depending on how you define aliens, we're not from this world, but we're not from outer space. As Donnie continues to talk, Croc begins to rise from the steam, and Raph interrupts him, and Donnie realizes, oh right, big monster thing. Everyone begins to jump at Croc, and Mikey tells them that this is for his Pony Racers game. Over at Wayne R&D, Batman finishes stopping an attack on the facility and he begins to interrogate one of the ninjas. Batman questions him, and the man tells him that they are the Foot Clan, and they're looking for a way home. But when Batman asks about the metahuman, the ninja mentions turtles, but then he's shortly killed by a shuriken. When Batman turns around, he sees Shredder standing above him, telling him not to cross them, or he and the city shall burn. Shredder throws a smoke bomb down and he begins to escape with the rest of the ninjas. But back in the sewers, Raph begins to tell everyone that they might need to find a new hideout. Splinter agrees with Raph, but when they begin to head out, Donnie notices a car when they go for their exit. Everyone begins to look over the Batmobile, and Batman looks down from a building to see that these turtles that the Foot Clan mentioned. Batman jumps down and Leo tells everyone that this guy's on a whole different level. We gotta strike together to take him down. And Batman tells them, you're welcome to try. The Turtles begin to attack Batman and he deflects and dodges the attacks, but Raph manages to get a blow in and asks him if his Halloween costume is supposed to shock them. As Batman disarms them, Batman tells him, no, that's what my car is for. And suddenly 2 tasers shoot out from the car, shocking him. And Batman tells them, you were a part of the last break-in, weren't you? And Leo tells him, no, we were trying to stop it. But before the two of them can continue fighting, Splinter jumps in between them, telling them enough, and for the Turtles to retreat. Batman calls him a rat, and Splinter tells him, what is stronger, an animal that acts like a man or a man who acts like an animal? Batman continues to attack Splinter, but Splinter dodges his attacks and tells Batman that they may be seeing him again. Then Splinter throws a smoke bomb and he vanishes. With no other option, Batman begins figuring out what's going on by going to Lucius to ask about the side that he took off of Raph from their fight earlier. And he finds out that this weapon has hypothetical qualities of a trans-dimensional object as defined by Naven Khan, a scientist who disappeared a few months ago. Even though the weapon is like standard steel, there's an abnormal strand in it, a kind of mutagen that doesn't exist in this universe. And as it struggles to continue to exist, it's becoming inert. Lucius mentions that at the time that he was with them, Dr. Khan had a project about a dimensional portal, but it would have cost billions of dollars to create, so he moved his research elsewhere. Batman asks if someone has the components and someone has the intelligence of Dr. Khan, but that's when Lucius finishes his statement by stating yes, they could build one. But they're missing a key component, a resonance engine. As Lucius leaves, Batman calls to Alfred to have him look and try to go through the sewer system to locate the Turtles. And while he does that, he's going to go see if there's any leads on this engine on the black market. But as Batman begins to leave, Splinter sneaks in to see what research they were doing on the mutagen. Over at the docks, Shredder meets with Penguin, who managed to get his hand on the engine that he needed. One of Penguin's men notices that Shredder didn't bring any money, so Penguin orders everyone to kill Shredder and his men. One of Penguin's men tells Shredder, you don't know who you're dealing with, and Shredder tells him, I really don't care. As the Foot Clan begin to kill Penguin's men, Shredder gets ready to kill Penguin, but Penguin tells him that he shouldn't kill him. He can provide him with everything he needs, including the power to run this engine. One of the Foot Clan members reports that there are no signs of Turtles or the Rat, and Shredder tells them that it doesn't matter. Once we leave through the portal, the Turtles and the Rat will die on their own. Splinter begins to lead the Turtles through a cave and explains that the effects that the mutagen has on them won't last in this world, so they have to leave or they're going to die. If they stay here, they will revert back to what they were before the mutagen, regular turtles. Raph asks what they're going to do, and Splinter tells him that they're going to need help if they're going to return to their world. And when Leo asks who will help them, Splinter tells them that all will be clear soon, and with that, they step out of the sewers and into the Batcave. Nobody is allowed to pinch me until I get to play with that dinosaur, Mikey says. Batman, in his search to find out what's going on, discovers that the Iceberg Lounge, which is Penguin's hideout, is using a lot of energy, which could be related to the engine. So he says that he needs to hurry back to the Batcave, but Alfred mentions that there might already be someone down there. Batman heads downstairs and he finds the turtles exploring the wonders of the cave, and he positions himself above Leo and Raph, and then he throws Raph into the Batmobile. He then questions how they even got in here, and Splinter tells him that it's easy for a rat to follow someone. Splinter begins to tell Batman how they came into this world, that Krang, an enemy of both the Turtles and Shredder, opened up a portal and sent them and Shredder into another world so that he could try to rule their New York uncontested. However, once he arrived, Shredder found a scientist that he can use to bring them back home and leave the Turtles stranded. And if they get stranded, Splinter and the Turtles already know what's going to happen to them. They'll die. Over in the Iceberg Lounge, Shredder begins to make his last preparations to begin opening the portal back home, and he tells the Foot Clan members to go get Dr. Khan. As the ninjas leave, Penguin mentions that it is quite a view from over here, and Shredder tells him that it is, and he looks forward to seeing more of it. Shredder then turns back to Penguin and tells him he doesn't see why he can't rule two cities. And when Penguin begins to question him, Shredder tells him that you belong to the Foot Clan now. As the ninjas go to get Dr. Khan, a flash of smoke appears, and Batman stands before Khan. Khan tells him that there's no way that he can do this alone, and Batman tells him, "Who said I was?" Deeper down inside of the lounge, Shredder and the Penguin wait for Khan to show up, but that's when Shredder notices something is wrong. And when he looks down, he sees the Turtles and Batman. Leo tells him sorry to disappoint him, but this is a totally awesome team up. Batman and the Turtles continue fighting with the Foot Clan, and Donnie tells Shredder that they're going to go through the portal with him in handcuffs. But Shredder tells him, no, you're not, and he pushes a button, and everyone sees the portal that Shredder is building explode. Batman tells everyone not to worry, they have Khan safe and sound, and that's when Alfred calls in to tell them that there's also a bomb in Khan's head. Raph jumps at Shredder, telling him that he can't do this, but Shredder slashes at Raph's neck, hitting an artery, and then he begins to escape, with the other turtles tending to Raph, who's now bleeding out. Shredder escapes on a helicopter, and when he climbs down, he finds that someone has killed his men and is sitting on his helicopter. Shredder asks who he is, and he tells him that he's Ra's al Ghul. Back at the Batcave, Leo and Batman are sparring, and over in a corner, Raph is getting anxious about how everyone seems to have forgotten that they have a time limit, they're going to die. What makes matters even worse is when they bring pizza down to the Batcave. Batman has a slice of it and even states, "Pizza's pretty good." Seeing everyone just relaxing, Raph rips off his bandages, shouting at everyone that there's no time, we're all gonna die. Leo tries to calm him down, but Raph tells him no, he's going to get them home by himself if he has to, and he storms off. Over in a warehouse in the Narrows, Shredder finishes building the next portal to allow him to cross between the two worlds. And when testing with Khan found someone trying to come through the portal that they just made, so Shredder tells the Foot Clan to turn it on. In a flash, the Foot Clan is getting hit with a hockey stick and golf clubs, and there stands Casey Jones. Batman goes off to find Raph as Raph begins walking through the rain, and Batman tells him he just wants to talk. And if he doesn't agree with everything that he has to say, the two of them can go their separate ways. While this is going on, back in the Batcave, an alarm goes off and Alfred checks to find that there's a massive influx of energy going to a warehouse. Leo tells them that they have to go now, but Alfred tells them that Batman already took the Batmobile to go get Raph. Donnie pushes a button, and another car begins to rise, and Alfred tells him, absolutely not. With Batman and Raph, Batman explains the importance of having family as he lost his at a young age, and he doesn't want to see that happen to the Turtles because of some impossible science. Batman gets a call from Alfred that Donnie found a trans-dimensional reading and the rest of the Turtles are now in a rout. So he looks over at Raph and he tells him, we've got work to do. And Raph tells him, I guess we do, with a smile. Over at the warehouse, though, the rest of the Turtles come crashing in to find a badly beaten Casey Jones. As the Turtles help him up, Casey tells them that he was here to bring them some of their world's mutagen so that they could stay alive. But Shredder took the mutagen when he arrived. Casey then mentions that before leaving, Shredder did say that he was going somewhere, and he asks if Arkham means anything to anyone. Batman, Leo, and Raph go to see Jim Gordon about what's going on, and Gordon tells them that there seems to be a break-in over at Arkham Asylum. But before they leave, Penguin shows up and tells everyone that Shredder is going too far. He's taken everything away from the Penguin, and the Penguin fears that it might be getting worse now that Shredder is working with Ra's al Ghul. Batman and the Turtles all begin to head over to Arkham Asylum, with the lack of mutagen starting to affect Leo, and he begins to collapse. Batman takes Leo and he rushes back to the Batcave, and Casey informs everyone that the chance for them to leave is coming, and if they're going to leave, they have to do it now. But Leo tells him that he can't. They can't leave Shredder here. Batman, along with a recently returned Damian Wayne, tell Leo they can handle Shredder and they can handle Ra's al Ghul. Don't worry about it. Damian returned from overseas tracking the League of Assassins, and he knows that they're making a big move and coming to Gotham. And they're going to be here soon. So Batman and Damian begin to leave, and Alfred asks if it's time to debut the Intimidator suit. But Batman tells him, it's not perfected yet. We're not even gonna need it anyway. We're only fighting Ninja. The two fly over Arkham and jump down to begin their assault, but they're stopped by Penguin as Penguin steps out from the shadows and is literally a penguin now. Because Penguin told Batman about his secret, Shredder decided to have Penguin be the first test subject for the new mutagen. Damian tells Batman that they're not alone, and when they look around, they see all of the prisoners of Arkham have now been transformed into animals. Batman and Damian begin to try and fight off as many of the villains as they can, but soon they begin to get overwhelmed. The Mantis Ivy uses her vines to hold Batman down, and the bear Mr. Freeze begins to cover him in ice. Back in the Batcave, Alfred is watching as Batman is starting to lose his fight, and Leo tells them, we have to do something, guys. We can't leave him like this. Casey tells him that it's now or never. He has to go back now with or without them. Back with Batman though, Batman tells Damian that they need to go. He can't let anyone leave this facility, and he calls out to Ra's to show himself. Batman tries to tell Shredder that Ra's is going to double-cross him. There's a large movement of the League of Assassins on their way, and Shredder tells him he already knows. Ra's tells him that they're going to rule every city, starting here, and change everyone into unstoppable beasts. Shredder jumps down to Batman, telling him that he would have liked to kill him, but that's beneath him, so he'll have someone else who is eager to do it for him. And then a snake-like Joker begins to pull at Batman's face to make him smile, and he tells him that he's not sure what kind of poisons run through him now, but hopefully it will leave Batman with a grin! As Shredder tells the Foot Clan to start up the portal, Raph appears and he kicks Shredder away from it. Splitter and the Turtles appear to help, and Donnie begins to break Batman out of the ice block, telling him that they brought a little extra help for him. So the Turtles begin to fight off the villains, and that's when Batman appears with his gift, attacking Shredder with his new and improved intimidation suit, fitted with the Turtles' colors. Batman and the Shredder begin fighting and destroying parts of each other's equipment until Shredder grabs Batman from behind, ready to kill him. Shredder asks if he wants to look him in the eyes before he dies, and Batman tells him no, he just wanted to get him in the right position. Batman's back then lets off an electrical charge, throwing Shredder away. The Turtles finally take out Ra's, and Batman punches Shredder's helmet off. Shredder then calls out to the Foot Clan and his creations, but Splinter tells him that he's afraid everyone is resting, and he cracks him across the face, knocking him out. Ra's begins to get back up, calling out to his assassins to move in, but Damian returns telling him that he's disarmed all of Raz's men, and the GCPD are now taking care of them. Ra's tells him, well played, Damian, but until next time, and he throws down a flash bomb and escapes. Raph looks at Shredder and he says how he wished he could jest, but Batman stops him, and he tells him that they will take Shredder to prison and let him pay for his crimes that way. Leo says getting home is going to be a pretty big issue now, but then a blue light begins to cover everyone, and a portal appears, and there stands Casey and April walking out, telling him that they have a solution for that. Casey looks around and says, "Aw man, I missed the fight, didn't I?" And April tells him, only have maybe 20 minutes before the portal shuts down again, so we gotta move fast. Splinter tells Batman, thank you for everything, and everyone begins to say their goodbyes once again. As everyone starts to leave, Raph walks to Batman and he tells him, you have a great family here, and he hands Batman a mask. Raph says he's glad that he met him, and if he ever comes to their world, he has a family there as well. Back in the Batcave, Jim informs everyone that the mutations on all of the villains will wear off in a week or so they don't have to worry about that. And Damian realizes that today happens to be the anniversary of the day that Batman's parents were shot. And as he points over at the intimidation chute that is now in ruins, he asks if maybe they should go over the plans together, a way to honor his family. And Batman tells him he would like that, and the two head off. Personally, I loved this story and I thought it was amazing, and since you guys wanted more Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, felt we should start by doing this, and then we're gonna move over into the Krang War. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next week right here for the next Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle story. But don't forget, if you enjoy this, check out our manga channel where we bring you manga every Monday and Friday. You can get a new video over there, and don't forget to check out our gaming channel, Eligible Monster, where we bring you gaming comic books every Friday. Both links are down below, and I'll see you guys on Twitter at Comicstorian. Have a good day.